The most realistic online racing sim ever made. This is iRacing. Detailed laser scan tracks, fully dynamic real world cars, and over 50 series to choose from. 6 online world championships offering over $100,000 in annual prizes. This is the original esport racing game. This is iRacing.
Well, hello, ladies and gentlemen, and welcome to the Turn 3 Racing Network. As tonight, we're here at Talladega for the People Against the Distracted Driving Sunday Select Series, and the league is NSRA. Thank you so much for joining us here tonight, as we will be at Talladega Super Speedway, and I, for one, am ready for the action here to kick off for our Candyshack Motorsports 200. We'll see if these Candyshack guys can put on a show for us all here tonight in the race that they are the patron for. As we're working 20 seconds left in the first practice session, I will be your host for tonight. My name is K.R. Stolfus, and Randy Post will be joining me momentarily. So when he is here, we'll get to talking, but until then, right now, these drivers are going to be getting into qualifying mode. But until that happens, let's go ahead and look at our points standings brought to you by GW Graphics. Paul Servant taking over the points lead. He has a 2 points over DJ Mitchell. Mark Mann coming in third place for our point standings. Daniel Holloway, JD Crow going to round out your top 5 in the point standings. 33 drivers going to try and make it in the field here tonight. 17 drivers in these point standings are locked in because of their points. So JR Johnson, one of those drivers who is in on points. Another one of those drivers in on points is Lynn McNeese, Daniel Harrington, David Gainforth, Peter Bailey, and Hunter Reynolds, all going to have to make it on time. But if I know anything, that Hunter Reynolds machine is going to be able to qualify very well. I've seen him do that time and time again. So, yeah, point standings looking good right now for several of these drivers, but they have hit the track for qualifying as they make their way around. The first one out on track, that is the 22 of John Johnson, using that high line here at Talladega, a 10-minute qualifying session. Johnson up on the high side. He's going to cross the start-finish line and begin his first timed lap, still staying up on the high side. The 3 machine of Paul Servant also up along the wall, breaking in his race car, getting the tires up to temp, burning off as much fuel as possible. JD Crow in the 17 machine, new paint scheme for him here tonight. That Toyota Camry, normally a gray color, for tonight looking white and blue. He works his way down the backstretch. Number stays the same in that 17 machine, but changing up that paint just a little bit. The 82 of Daniel Harrington out on track now as well. Daniel Harrington streaming this over on Twitch. If you'd like to check him out, that's Demon Tech 82. You stop by, tell him I said hello and that I sent you, but that is Demon Tech 82 over on Twitch. He'd like to have you stop by. Give him a hard time for not putting it on pole position. But Randy, you're finally done and here and in the booth, man. Welcome to tonight's show.
Yeah, it was a long climb up, let me just tell you that.
So as these drivers are qualifying, the 82 machine is going to sit in pole position for the moment. Now, Chris Akers in the 4, going to slide up into second. Pondo Co sitting in third. John Johnson in the 22 jumps to the pole position as these drivers starting to turn their fast lap times.
I think we're going to see a lot of jockeying for position right now. You know, it's always crazy to see what kind of strategy you'll see in super speedway racing. I know a lot of these guys, they race each other all the time, so they're more comfortable around each other. But, you know, sometimes you'll see people not take times just so they can hang out in the back and not get caught up in all the wrecks right away. We do have a 75 lap race tonight, and that's a long time. So, you know, when he burn up those fast repairs, I think these guys have two fast repairs, if I'm not mistaken.
Yeah, 2 fast repairs are at their disposal. The 133 of Jesse Unroe out on track right now, currently scored in 26th spot. So he makes his way onto the front stretch, down through the tri-oval. We'll see where this 133 is going to post up as he crosses the start finish line. And Jesse going to jump to pole position. So a good qualifying effort by the 133. Paul Servant in the 3, sitting in second place. 27 drivers have taken a qualifying time. John Stevens in 16th spot. The 603 of Peter Bailey making his way onto the front stretch here, down into the tri-oval, and we'll see if he can improve from 27th place as he crosses the start-finish line. He is going to move from 27th up to 16th. So a good solid effort mid-pack, but not a terrible qualifying effort. As for the moment, there are no cars out on the speedway. So with that being said, guys, let's go ahead and jump to our national anthem, and we'll be back with tonight's starting lineup.
We take you down onto the track for our opening ceremonies.
Ladies and gentlemen, please rise. Please remove your hats.
Oh, say, can you see by the dawn's early light what so proudly we hailed at the twilight's last gleaming, whose broad stripes and bright stars through the perilous flight o'er the ramparts we watched were so gallantly streaming, and the rocket's red glare, the bombs bursting in air, gave proof through the night that our flag was still there. Oh, say does that star-spangled banner yet wave o'er the land of the free and the home of the brave?
Welcome back, ladies and gentlemen. As the drivers are taking to the grid, that means it is time to bring you tonight's Candyshack 200 starting lineup, brought to you by GW Graphics. Row 1 will be the 133 of Jesse Unrow and the 3 of Paul Servant. Row number 2 will be the 26 of Hunter Reynolds and the 88 of Dana Osborne. Row 3 will be the 22 of John Johnson and the 04 of Mark Mann. Row 4, the 131 of Brandon Herndon and the 82 of Daniel Harrington. Row 5 will be the 4 of Chris Akers and the 388 of Doug Johnson. Row 6 will be the 17 of J.D. Crow and the 9 of Pondo Co. Row 7 will be the 2 of A.J. McCarron and the 62 of Les Levy. Row 8 will be the 48 of T.J. Buck and the 603 of Peter Bailey. Row 9 will be the 27 of Sean Stevens and Russell Hancock in the 343 machine. Row 10, the 41 of Chris Whitaker and the 21 of Daniel Holloway. Row 11 will be the 11 machine of Roy Grandy and the 151 of Rick Greenaway. Row 12 will be the 31 of Todd Poston and the 30 of Don Bennett. Row 13 will be the 101 of David Gainforth and the 77 of David Booth. Row 14 will be the 84 of Lynn McNeese and the 011 of Jason Kinzer. And row 15, all by himself back there, the 711 of Steven Squirmin Herman. And that is your GW Graphics starting lineup as we wait for the drivers to come around and take the green flag. The pace car lights are down. Well, they're off. The pace car is down and away. And Randy, we're getting ready to go green flag racing.
Yep, and that's one bad thing about Talladega is the pace car dives off and you just wait and wait and wait for that green flag. You can get a jump, but you don't really want to because you'll just get freight trained by the end of turn one. Green flag is out. Everybody's getting through the speed, slowly going through the gears. As you know, that it takes a while to get up to speed, and these things almost a full lap. Everybody looks like the outside row got a good jump. They're going nose to nose into turn one right now.
First 6 cars very tightly packed, side by side they go. Jesse Unruh in the 133, holding on to the lead for the moment. He has the 26 machine of Hunter Reynolds on his back bumper, pushing hard. And John Johnson in that 22 right behind the 26 as they head down into 3 and 4, working their way around the corner to complete the first lap. Who is going to lead this one? Right now, it is Jesse Unruh, but the 3 of Paul Servant on his outside.
Coming to take the first lap, and it looks like Jesse Unruh is going to have quite the advantage having 3 cars tightly knit behind him. But Paul Servant not far behind with Dana Osborne behind him. Looks like Dana Osborne is getting a little bit warm. He's getting a little bit of air going into turn one, clearing the nose, cooling the motor off a little bit, taking some precaution early on in this race. Doesn't want to blow the motor very early.
No, don't want to have an early exit with a popped engine here, but as we mentioned, 2 fast repairs are available, but that would put you behind the 8 ball, and you would need the assistance of a caution to get back into this thing. As we don't have stages here tonight, these drivers are going to try and run flag to flag and running side by side throughout this field. A good start here. Few cars have dropped back a little bit. One of those being the 011 of Jason Kinzer. He is at the tail end of this 29 car field, still within that, able to pick up the draft of the car in front of him, and that is the 151 of Rick Greenaway.
Yeah, I'm liking how tight, like, they're not super tight this front pack is, but everybody else, they're just kind of like giving enough room and being courteous and not trying to push the edges, push the limits right now. And we are early in the race, so you don't really want to see that happen. But I do see Chris Akers and Dana Osborne working that third line with a couple other cars right now, so we'll see how effective that is right now.
So Dana Osborne trying that third lane very early here at Talladega. Tons of room to make it happen. Very wide super speedway. Osborne going to drop down in front of the 4 of Akers as they abandon that high side. And so they will slot into that second row. That is going to leave the 41 machine out there with, I'm sorry, that's the 48 of TJ Buck with the 41. So TJ Buck and Chris Whitaker trying the high lane. Now the 41 drops down to the inside, going to make his way around TJ Buck. But at the front of the field, the 133 of Jesse Unruh continuing to be in that lead of the inside lane. Paul Servant not able to drop down to the inside just yet. As we go 3 wide again, Dana Osborne trying to make that third lane work. Chris Akers on his back bumper.
What I really like about Talladega over where we were last week at Daytona is that it's just so much wider. It makes 3 wide so much more possible. And it's got those lanes that you can see, and it makes it easier for you to stay in your lane. It doesn't cause any issues. Later on in the race, you may see some issues with the lanes, but it has a defined third lane. It is there to use. Daytona you can make 3 wide happen. It's tight in the corners for sure.
As they work their way onto the front stretch, they're going to come around and complete lap number 5. Start lap number 6. Still 3 wide Racing Holloway. A little bit of a wiggle going into turn 1 there, but no contact made. Everyone on the throttle and able to keep it rolling. Paul Servant staying in that outside lane in that 3 machine, or I should say the middle lane now. Dana Osborne in the 88 starting to inch his way forward.
Yeah, I'm just thinking back to last week. We had a little bit of a rocky start last week, but this week it looks very clean and looks like they had some issues worked out. I'm very impressed with how well they're doing right now.
Do want to point out the 011 of Jason Kinzer has lost the draft of this lead pack. He is now 11.5 seconds behind the field. Rick Greenaway in the 151 machine has moved forward. Last time we checked in on him, he was 28th. He now sits in 23rd. And Kinzer looks like he is pulled on the pit lane. We'll see if he can get back out there. The 30 machine, that is Donald Bennett in our Turn 3 Racing Network car. And we're going to have to pull sponsorship if he's going to ride around in 28th.
Oh, it might be part of the ploy. He's doing what I said earlier. He's riding around the back, staying out of the early on incidents, and may see him later, or up towards the front later on.
All right, I'll give him that for the moment.
Early on in the race. We're only 8 laps in.
I expect him to lead every lap of every race.
You're a horrible boss.
I am. That's probably why I'm not in charge. Jesse Unruh, your race leader, Paul Servant on his outside. That third lane has fizzled out quite a bit. They have fallen back. Dana Osborne still leading the charge of that third lane with Chris Akers and Daniel Holloway. Following in the tire tracks, TJ Buck, one of those there as well. But they have lost ground. At one point, that 88 machine was in position to take the race lead. But that lane did fizzle out, and as they make their way across the start-finish line once again, Jesse Unruh, Paul Servant have been out in front of their respective lanes since the drop of the green flag. That has not changed between those two drivers.
You know, we keep saying it's early on in the race, but if I'm not mistaken, we should be coming up on a first green flag pit stop, barring any cautions, and within the next 10 laps, if I'm not mistaken.
So Jesse Unruh out of the Mega stable, or the MAGA, Make America Great Again. Paul Servant in that 3 machine out of the Candyshack Motorsports. He's trying to represent not only his team well, but the team's races. They are tonight's sponsor for the race. So far, the 3 leading the charge for his teammates. Jesse Unruh leading for his teammates as they are sitting out in front of lanes 1 and 2. That third lane, though, is starting to come back. Dana Osborne in the 88, never giving up on it. Here he is running door to door with the race leaders.
I don't know if you had caught that because it was kind of far back in the pack, but the 62 of Les Levy just was sideways through turns 1 and 2. It looks like somebody got into him a little bit and turned him around, and he was able to save it and keep going. He's sitting back in 25th position right now, but good job on him for keeping it together and not causing a massive pileup.
Yeah, the 62 is in with a group of 4 other cars. That is David Booth in the 77, the 30 of Donald Bennett, Les Levy, David Gainforth, and Lynn McNeese. 29 cars did start this race. We already have 1 out of this event. That is the 011 of Jason Kinzer. Not sure what happened to him, but a very early exit for him here tonight. And 3 wide at the front of the field. They come around to complete lap 11, Randy.
Yep, Dana Osborne making his way back towards the front with Chris Akers pushing him. I know last week was my first week with these guys, but I noticed last week Dana Osborne and Chris Akers were working together quite a bit, so they're working very well, and they've proven to me that they can make it to the front from the back in that third line very quickly.
That third lane does seem to fall back and move forward quite a bit. It stays unchanged in the bottom 2 lanes. Jesse Unruh, Paul Servant, Hunter Reynolds in the 26 machine, second car in the inside lane, and the 04 of Mark Mann, Batman himself, in that second lane, second car, working over the 3 machine, trying to push that 3 out in front of the field.
Dana Osborne did dive down to that middle lane, leaving Chris Akers and the other car behind him. I couldn't grab a number off that one. out to dry, so that group is dropping pretty fast. I think Chris Akers just dove it back into the middle line as well. That third line is dying out pretty quick. Looking like they're going to go double file for another couple laps. It doesn't show any intention of anybody going back out in that third lane right now.
Ooh, Jesse Unruh looked like maybe he wanted to get in front of the 3 of Paul Servant, but Servant had his nose there. A little bit of contact, but both drivers able to straighten it out and keep going. Mark Mann in the 04 has fallen off the back bumper a little bit because of that, but he's going to close in quickly here and then add in a nice little bump to the 3, maybe shoot him out in front.
I wonder if Jesse Unruh was trying to kind of shunt the momentum of the outside line there, or if he was trying to actually get up to that front row or that outside line because he noticed how fast it was moving.
So now the 3 of Servant does drop down in front of Jesse Unruh for the first time here tonight. A new driver leading the inside lane and a new driver out in front on the outer lane. Mark Mann in the 04, Paul Servant in the 3. The 82 machine of Daniel Harrington pushing hard on the 04 Mark Mann now. But just behind them, the field getting side by side, 2 by 2. And Randy, you mentioned how soon we'd be getting to green flag pit stops, and we're just a handful of laps away from our first round of stops.
Yeah, I'm seeing everybody start to go a little bit, like start to file in a single file line. See that outside line starting to die out. And Mark Mann just dove it into the inside line, had an opportunity and took it right from Reynolds. But I think we'll start seeing people come down like next time by, as early as next time by, or possibly this time by.
Yeah, their strategies are going to vary all night long, especially if we stay green flag racing. But for the moment, nobody taking to pit lane just yet. And our field right now is only separated by less than 2 seconds from first place to last place. That last place car, that is the 30 machine of Donald Bennett. He is working his way behind the 77 of David Booth.
That's really cool to see everybody in one pack instead of breaking off into smaller packs and just kind of riding around for a couple laps. But I do hear people calling out pit stops. A lot of people are coming in this time for sure.
The first round of pit stops getting ready to take place. They work their way through 3 and 4. Paul Servant, Jesse Unruh out in front of this field, and here comes several drivers breaking away down on the inside. Paul Servant on the binders, and Jesse Unruh and Paul Servant are going to make contact as Servant locked him up and got crossed up just a little bit, and he is going to get tagged by 2 cars. David Booth and the 77 going to come in and finish off that 3 machine. So Paul Servant got hard on the brakes, got a little sideways, but Jesse Unruh down on his inside just had nowhere to go.
Yeah, I've just kind of watched the pack, and everybody's starting to get single file again. There's only 1 car on the outside line, and looks like everybody's going to start coming down again this time by. It's really unfortunate for Paul Servant, though.
Yeah, he's going to have a lot of ground to make up as Dana Osborne hard on the brakes. Very aggressive entry on the pit road. That 88 might have been tagged with a speeding penalty. We shall see. Brandon Herndon in the 131, another one of those drivers, also getting hard on the brakes, but caution flag coming out. And I believe we have trouble with the 77, the 3, and the 21. Let's go to our turn 3 instant replay and figure out what went wrong here. This is the 77 of David Booth down on the apron, trying to get back up to speed. And the accident happening in front of him as Holloway in the 21 had gone around. Contact made with the 30 or the 77 and the 21. Let's take another look at this one. The 21 didn't quite catch it there, so let's back it up just a little bit more. But the 21 down on the apron trying to get up to speed. spun the back tires, making heavy contact with Poston in the 31. Finally gets on the binders and shuts it down. But man, what a tough break. We're in the middle of green flag pit stops. Holloway bringing out the caution here tonight.
Yeah, I'm really curious as to how that's going to work now because of half the group didn't come in right with those guys. It might, hopefully everything gets figured out.
I will say this is a lucky break for the 3 of Paul Servant. He was in need of a caution because he had a rough entry onto pit road. Now he has the opportunity to catch back up to the field. So they will have every chance to regroup. Not only that, but Dana Osborne serving a speeding penalty, also going to be able to catch up to the field. So this caution really helped those who had a bad first go getting onto pit road.
Yeah, for guys like Paul Servant, this is huge.
Your race leader, though, scored as Daniel Harrington in the 82. Brandon Herndon in second place. And so with all of that going on, 2 good pit stops out of the 131 and the 82.
Yeah, Daniel Harrington. Ooh, I'm hoping everything gets worked out with this caution coming in mid pit stop. I'm hoping guys don't get trapped a lap down. That would be really unfortunate.
So several cars on pit road, probably to address some damage received either as they tried to get on pit lane or off of pit lane. One of those being the 31 of Todd Poston, Chris Akers, Dana Osborne, all on pit road as well. So with the 82 continuing to cycle around, we're going to step away for a quick break. No one go anywhere. We'll be back after this.
Grab the hard hats, grab the tools, grab the wheel. There's a job to do, ground to break, earth to move, a deadline to hit. Load in Randy and the boys. Randy's got shotgun, new guys in the back. Haul it all, dump it all, do it all. When there's something to prove, a reputation to uphold, you need the Kubota RTVX, North America's #1 selling diesel utility vehicle.
Welcome back, ladies and gentlemen, as drivers cycle around this big 2.6 mile super speedway. 2.5 minutes a pace lap time. It gives us plenty of time to stop and think about all the things we've done in our lives. And Randy, I don't know about you, but I'm really glad I get to go racing this coming Saturday.
Must be nice.
It is nice. Those of you who don't know, Missouri seems to have relaxed all of its stay-at-home orders. World of Outlaws, several sprint car drivers, sprint car leagues heading to Missouri to turn some laps here in the coming weeks. I kind of wish that I was able to make the trek to some of the tracks. One of them, two of them actually, are not too far away from me. And might try and get out there. I don't know yet. Haven't made that decision. But, well, Randy, lights have gone out on the pace car.
Yeah, I'm ready to get this thing going, you know? Got a little racing.
So the first caution of the night coming to an end. Started 29 cars, 28 cars still in this thing. Of those 28 cars, a few of them have made a last second pit stop, so they're going to start a long line on the inside here. Dana Osborne in the 88 has had to work heavily on his machine. He makes his way to the tail end of the field. He is the last car in this race for the moment, so he ought to be exciting to watch work through this field.
Yeah, I think we're gonna see a lot of that type of racing that I was talking about earlier, where they're given enough room. They were doing great. I think it was just unfortunate the way the caution came out. They were doing a great job giving room and holding lines and everything. I think we're gonna see some great racing, and possibly no cautions to the end is my bet. I'll knock on some wood for saying that.
The 131 of Brandon Herndon taking over the race lead as Daniel Harrington had pulled onto pit road under this yellow, topped off his fuel tank, and took 4 fresh tires. But the pace car makes the break towards pit lane. And Randy, we're going to fire them off one more time. Brandon Herndon and John Johnson on the front row for this restart. Sold out crowd here at Talladega. Virtual crowd, that is. Want to thank everyone for joining us here on YouTube. If you haven't done so yet, go ahead and shout out your favorite driver or who you think is going to win here tonight. But Brandon Herndon in the 131 picks up the throttle as the green flag flies one more time. The 22 of John Johnson going to run door to door as JD Crow in the 17 machine dives down to the inside in a hurry.
We've got a second pack kind of breaking off from the front 6 or 7 cars, it looks like. And I think by the end of the second time around, we'll be back to tight racing and one pack again.
Herndon down on the inside, leading the charge on that inside lane, but JD Crow in the 17 making the move up to that higher lane, trying to get the run up off the corner to take over that top spot and lead a lap here at Talladega. They're going to go side by side, dead even through the tri-oval, and at the line, Brandon Herndon going to lead that one, but Crow just a few inches behind him.
Yep, got that third line working really well. There's a lot of cars going up there, so I would expect I don't know who that is on that outside, the 151, to Rick Greenaway to be up towards the front here very shortly.
Yeah, Greenaway in that third lane, big run down the back stretch, sends it into 3 and 4. Now he is trying to find a way to carry that momentum through the corner. They're going to fall back a little bit here and lose a little bit of ground, but man, they carry a ton of speed down the straightaway.
Yeah, it's awesome to always see 3 lines form and just tight racing, because you got that white knuckle feeling a little bit. I enjoy 3-lane racing.
Yeah, this third lane at Talladega being utilized often and continually, but it can put you in a bit of a tight spot every now and then, especially going into corner entry, as the 151 does take over the race lead. But can he hold on to that lead going to the start finish line? JD Crow in the 17 going to move up to the high side. Rick Greenaway has to wait for the 131 of Herndon to get to his back bumper. Big bump there by the 131, and Greenaway trying to lead a lap, his first one here tonight, but Hunter Reynolds on the outside lane going to take it away for the moment, and Reynolds is going to lead that lap and dives down to the inside.
It was kind of crazy the way that lead change took place. I wonder if it was almost planned, because from my view, it kind of looked scary. I'm zoomed out a little bit more, but it looked kind of scary for a second.
Trouble down the backstretch. Squirmin Herman and TJ Buck down on the inside. They are off the racing surface. David Booth getting involved as well. We stay green. And one car who's going to benefit big time from this, who is already making a ton of moves forward, that is the 88 of Dana Osborne, finding himself in 9th place. So already gained almost 20 positions since this restart.
Yeah, it's awesome to see someone work from the back all the way up to the top 10 in a couple laps. You'd love to see that.
So as those 4 or 5 cars that went spinning down the backstretch get back up to speed, the smoke still hasn't cleared from their tires as the field makes its way once again into 3 and 4. Stephen Herman all by himself in that 7-Eleven machine, looking very slow here and maybe heading for pit lane as he's going to jam the brakes there, trying to get slowed down. Goes for a spin, but again, he is down below the racing line, so no caution coming out. Chris Whitaker in the 41 machine out in the front and scoring his first lap lead. Brandon Herndon getting hip checked by the 88 of Dana Osborne, but Herndon able to wrestle that car back under control.
Looks like Rick Greenaway dove off to the inside. We got a couple more cars. Hunter Reynolds and someone else went spinning into the infield, and there's a caution out now.
JD Crow, Mark Mann in trouble along with the 26 of Hunter Reynolds, and the caution flag is gonna come out once again. Let's back this up and go to our turn 3 instant replay. The 26 of Hunter Reynolds and the 17 of JD Crow gonna make contact coming off of turn number 2. JD Crow, a hard impact into that inside wall. Todd Poston gonna slam into the 17 as well. And so several incidences here in these 2 laps have really shaken things up. Let's take a look at this incident from Todd Poston's point of view. As the 17 came back up onto the speedway, hard to slow these things down from almost 200 miles an hour.
Yeah, pace car kind of just showed up out of nowhere.
So Whitaker in the 41 machine, waiting for the pace car to catch up to him. Lap 28 of 75 finds itself under yellow. And I expect to see everyone hit pit lane this time. But another caution coming out, our second one of the night. Our Kubota caution information there. Had 15 lead changes so far among 7 different drivers. But pit lane about ready to be very busy as the field makes its way onto pit road. As the field starts peeling off to hit their pit stalls, Mark Mann in the 04 needs to get rolling or he is going to end up a lap down here. Several of these cars torn up, sitting on pit lane trying to work out some of the damage they have. One of those down and away is the 31 of Todd Poston. But Whitaker hit pit lane first, gonna come off third. Dana Osborne all the way into first place with a solid pit stop, fuel only, for that 88 machine.
Yeah, we'll see a couple different strategies here. I wonder, some people will take tires, some people won't. Not quite yet halfway, but getting close.
So with the caution coming out, guys, we're going to step away for a quick break. No one go anywhere. We'll be back after this.
Racing, you wanted the best, you got them four abreast, often imitated, never duplicated, the greatest show on dirt, the World of Outlaws.
Welcome back, ladies and gentlemen. As the lights stay on the pace car, we're going to see these drivers take off here in just a moment. But while we have a chance, let's go ahead and get a word in with the driver of the 4 machine. That is Chris Akers. And Chris, you have had a tumultuous last few races, finding yourself one lap down, but battling with the leaders. But here you are right now, the race leader.
Yes, sir. It's been a hard couple weeks, but had a couple internet issues last few weeks, and now we've got it all straightened out. Now I'm back to where I belong, up here in the front, racing for a win. That's hopefully going to stay that way the rest of the race.
That 4 machine has been up in that 3rd lane trying to get to the front of the field, but a solid pit stop here tonight, gaining you track position. And Chris, having this 3-wide battle go down here at Talladega, what's it like up there in that high lane?
Oh, it's pretty tough tonight. It's cars are heating up really quick, so it's hard to get the line moving as good as it was 2 weeks ago. But we'll make it work. I almost went 4 wide that last run. Somebody left the door open, and I might put it 4 wide tonight for y'all.
All right, well, it's exciting to see this 4 machine week in and week out. And here you are in the race lead, man. But before we let you go, any shout outs or thank yous you'd like to give?
Oh yeah, I'd like to give everybody a big shout out for Happy Mother's Day. I know my mom's watching. I want to say Happy Mother's Day to her, and shout out to the family. I know everybody else is watching. Let's see if we can get this 4 machine in Victor Lane for my mom tonight.
All right, that is Chris Akers. And Chris, I'm pretty sure it's Candyshack Motorsports, but you want to check my math on that?
Yes, sir. Candyshack it is.
And so Candyshack Motorsports sitting in the race lead here tonight in the 4 machine. The one leading the charge for that team. Thank you, Chris, for taking the time to talk to us. And Randy, these drivers are stacked up 2 by 2. I guess we're getting ready to go green flag racing again.
Yeah, I'm excited. We're approaching halfway.
We are approaching halfway. Going to see a couple more pit stops here tonight. Even if it stays green flag racing, drivers only able to make about 16 to 18 laps on each tank of fuel. But Chris Whitaker in the 41 machine, Chris Akers in the 4 on the restart here, taking over the front row. The 22 of John Johnson and the 131 of Brandon Herndon in row number 2. Row 3 will be the 388 of Doug Johnson and the 9 of Pondo Co. as the pace car down and away. Randy, take us to this green flag.
All right, Chris Akers leading us to the green flag on that long anticipated wait for the dropping of the green flag at Talladega. As we know, it just takes so long and so anticipating. But the green flag is out and Chris Akers leads these guys into turn 1 for the first time again as they get going through the gears. Looks like Chris Whitaker has a good jump as well, able to stay nose to nose with Chris Akers. You got the 131 of Brandon Herndon pushing Chris Whitaker on the outside. Chris Akers gets a good run on the inside line. They're starting to form up pretty tight here. That inside line is really long. Got a huge advantage for that inside line right now. Chris Whitaker drops down to the front of the inside line going into turn 3.
Herndon in the 131 finding himself leading that outside lane. Akers in the 4, not making the move to the outside just yet. He's going to wait for that 131 to use his momentum and carry him forward. Stays tucked in behind the 41 of Whitaker. Paul Servant in the 3 after his rough entry onto pit road, finding himself moving into that outside lane, but nobody went with him. He's going to dive back down to the inside. Donald Bennett in the 31 machine, after I gave him a hard time and a pep talk on the radio under caution, he's decided to try and work his way forward. He is in 12th place right now, tucked in behind the 27 of Sean Stevens.
I told you. He was going to be up there.
He just needed a little bit of motivation.
Yeah, sure. Something like that. We do have 2 defined packs here. That's the first time we've seen that all night. We got a front pack and a second pack, and there's 2 cars hanging back a little bit from that second pack right now. And they're all pretty spread out right now. The outside line and the front pack is kind of like tucked up under each other, but that's about it.
Jesse Unrow in the 133 in behind David Gainforth. They are closing in on this lead pack, and before too long, our 2 packs will become 1. We'll have a big mess of cars here momentarily as they work their way through 3 and 4. Unrow started on the front row here tonight, but found himself in a little bit of a situation as our first round of pit stops. It's all these drivers getting all sorts of crossed up.
Yeah, I see that second pack really spreading out now. I'm kind of curious as to what the plan is, that because the outside line on the second pack is looking like they want to go be a part of the first pack, and the inside line doesn't really want anything to do with it.
Side by side for the race lead off of turn number 4, Chris Akers in the 4 machine. That was off of turn number 2, but Akers dives down to the inside, taking over the lead from that inside lane. Brandon Herndon in the 131, now leading the charge on the outside. He has the 9 of Pondo Co trying to push him. Whitaker up into the high lane, going to try and make the pass on Akers and use the momentum that Herndon had started to build to carry him to the race lead, and the 41 now dives down to the inside.
Yeah, Pondo's really not somebody we've talked about a lot tonight. He's just kind of been hanging out, but there he is, second car on the outside line right now, getting pushed by the 62 of Les Levy.
So Pondo Co in the 9 machine, second car in the outside lane. Pondo from the Mega stable, or MAGA, good grief, I'll say it right sooner or later. Probably later, knowing the way I can screw things up.
Right? Can't we all, though?
Oh, for sure. The 62 of Les Levy making a move to the outside lane. Levy at one point in this race was last car on the lead lap. Now here he is trying to take over 5th spot. He has the 3 of Paul Servant working with him in that 3rd lane. 2 cars trying to make their way forward. They're going to have a good run down this backstretch. But we heard from Akers in the 4. These cars heat up very quickly, making that 3rd lane very difficult.
Yeah, that was kind of surprising to hear that they're heating up that quick in the outside lane. I think it's just because you really got to push to keep that outside lane going with only a couple cars, but that's kind of surprising to me.
Herndon has the lead for the moment in that 131 machine, with Chris Whitaker in the 41 on his back bumper. They make their way into 1 and 2 side by side. We are at the halfway point now. Lap 38 of 75. We have 38 laps to go. With all of that being said, we have had 9 different leaders so far tonight. Unrow in that 133 has led the most laps so far at 9 laps, but he finds himself mid-pack for the moment. But hard to keep a good driver down. Jesse Unrow in 21st, down on that inside lane.
Yeah, we should be getting some pit stops here in the next 10 laps as well. Looking at it, it looks like the top 15. Oh, so we have a caution.
Caution on the speedway. The 4 of Chris Akers looks like he popped his engine, and the 26 of Hunter Reynolds and the 101 of David Gainforth have gone around. Not sure if those 2 incidences are going to be related, so let's check our turn 3 instant replay and see what happens to the 26 as Akers popped his engine, dropped down to the inside, and Dana Osborne in the 88 is going to get into the quarter panel of the 26. That is going to turn Hunter Reynolds around, and the 48 of TJ Buck getting a piece of that as well. Take another look at this one. Bennett in that 31 machine just edging out. But David Gainforth not as lucky. Looks like both drivers able to slow it down before heavy contact with that inside wall though. But again, the caution flag coming out, and the field waiting for the pace car to catch up to him. So Brandon Herndon, your race leader at this caution flag.
I don't think the pace car realizes he's at a super speedway race. He's going real slow, just out for a nice Sunday Mother's Day drive.
Now Herndon, now that he is behind the pace car, going to lead the field on the pit road. Everyone making that much needed pit stop. Fuel for sure. Maybe see some tires out of these guys. It is Talladega. Tires aren't terribly important, but they do kind of play a factor deeper into the race if you haven't changed your tires at all.
Yeah, it definitely will affect you later on. Just the car doesn't have as much grip as the guy outside of you that has taken tires, and you may slide up a little bit, and that could cost you the race.
So with the pace car out in front of the field, Todd Poston in the 31, the free pass driver. He makes his way around this 2.6 mile super speedway to get into pit lane and then get caught back up to the field. He's going to be ecstatic to be back on the lead lap. And right now, the 88 of Dana Osborne scored as the race leader, did not come down pit road. We'll see if that changes, but until then, guys, we're going to step away for another break. No one go anywhere. We'll be right back after this.
Grab the hard hats, grab the tools, grab the wheel. There's a job to do, ground to break, earth to move, a deadline to hit. Load in Randy and the boys. Randy's got shotgun, new guys in the back. Haul it all, dump it all, do it all. When there's something to prove, a reputation to uphold, you need the Kubota RTVX, North America's #1 selling diesel utility vehicle.
The most realistic online racing sim ever made. This is iRacing. Detailed laser scan tracks, fully dynamic real world cars, and over 50 series to choose from. 6 online world championships offering over $100,000 in annual prizes. This is the original esport racing game. This is iRacing.
Welcome back, ladies and gentlemen, as the field is cycling around behind the pace car. Tonight's race brought to you by People Against People Against Distracted Driving, Kubota, Key Realty, and of course tonight's race sponsor is Candyshack Motorsports. And Randy, these drivers want to get this thing going, and it seems like we had one long green flag run, but then we've been mired with a couple quick cautions here.
Yeah. I think these guys are just getting the mid-race jitters, and we'll be back to long green flag runs for a while.
Our race leader is the 131 of Brandon Herndon. JD Crow in that 17 machine looks like he's going to try and take the wave around here. He will find himself one lap down, but lights stay on the pace car. So what do you say we take a moment to talk to our race leader, and that is none other than the driver of the 131 machine, Brandon Herndon. Brandon, this is KR and Randy up in the broadcast booth. You got your ears on, bud?
Hey, I got you, KR, yeah.
Well, man, that 131 out in front, and have been up there for a little bit. You've led 8 laps and counting so far tonight. Tell us a little bit about your race.
This one's actually been a pretty good one. I know we've had some cautions, man, but I feel good in this one. We gridded, top 10 somewhere, and I was able to, in that first pit sequence there, we were able to catch the fortune of that caution coming out. We were in the pits before it came out, and inherited the lead from it, and we're not looking back, man. I'm ready to park this thing.
Park it in victory lane, I assume is what you mean, and you're going to have 34 laps to go. What's it going to take to keep this 131 up front?
It's going to take a little bit of skill and a lot of fortune, a lot of good luck. That's how these things go, man. You know how super speedway racing is. I mean, you can be as good as you can being on your game, but any night it takes a good bit of luck to keep it up there.
All right, man. Well, luck is going to probably be on your side for a little bit. As we get ready to wrap this caution up, though, man, any shout-outs or thank yous you'd like to give?
Yeah, I like to shout out NSRA putting this on every week, I mean, I shout them out every week, and I will continue to as long as we do this thing. It's a free league these guys put on, and they do a great job at it. Y'all up in the booth broadcasting this. I love watching the replays all week, and Team 501, Jesse, Pondo, Dave, JD, AJ, Rusty's not here tonight. A lot of good guys. Learned a lot from them. I couldn't do it without them.
All right, man. Well, thank you very much for taking the time to talk to us, and we'll let you get back to strategizing with your team how to keep you up front.
Yep, thank you, sir.
That is Brandon Herndon, driver of the 131 machine. We bring this caution to a close. Hopefully we'll see the lights go out on the pace car this time around, Randy, and 2.5 minutes for each pace lap. And the drivers have a lot of time to talk and figure out how they want to handle this restart.
Yeah, like with restarts, kind of weird because you may be on the inside of one of your teammates, so you got to kind of work on how are we going to get you either in front of me or behind me, whether I lay back on the restart and you dive down real quick. There's so many things that can happen, and you'll see it right away when they do drop the green flag, to where some people will drop down real quick and take positions in front of other teammates. So we'll have to see what happens. Maybe we'll see people shoot to the third line right away.
Yeah, that third lane been used often here tonight at Talladega. I guarantee you we're going to see someone else up there as well. A few other cars that have tried to make recoveries here after finding trouble. The 21 of Daniel Holloway finding himself third car inside lane for this restart. Les Levy in the 62 machine. You saw him get out of control, Randy. Gathered it back in. Here he is now restarting outside row 3.
Yeah, he's had a strong race so far. He's been mid to front pack most of the race. He had that little stir up with getting sideways early in the race, but he's looking like he could be in contention for repeating the top 3 of last week.
As the lights have gone out on the pace car, the field has formed up 2 by 2. We get ready to fire them off one more time. We will have 32 laps to go when the green flag flies here at Talladega. Keep in mind, we will use green-white checkered attempts if we need them. Brandon Herndon, your race leader. Chris Whitaker, teammates on the front row. As the pace car gets out of the way, we get ready to fire them off as they wait agonizingly long time through the tri-oval. Brandon Herndon, Chris Whitaker in the front row. As the green flag flies, the field picks up speed and looking like nobody's spinning the tires just yet. And that is something.
The 7-Eleven did go around right after the start-finish line, bringing out the caution flag.
And Squirmin' Herman up in smoke in that 7-Eleven machine. And a rough restart here. Let's go to our turn 3 instant replay and figure out what happened to Stephen Herman in the 7-Eleven. It looks like Mark Mann just tried to give some added energy to the 7-Eleven. Just gonna get turned. Bit of a rough bump, but let's go on board with Mark Mann, Batman himself, as the field gets up to speed here. And Herman just grabbed the gear, maybe even the wrong gear, and just turned all on his own. Mark Mann wasn't even up to his bumper just yet. So a wild turn of events here at Talladega for Stephen Herman, as he is trying to limp that thing onto pit road. Hopefully he has a fast repair available and can get back on the track, put a new engine in that thing, and well, pretty much as fast as you can click that fast repair button.
Yeah, if he's still got one left. I know we've had a couple incidents. He may have used them all. Who knows?
As he works his way down the back stretch, putting up a smoke screen, trying to take care of mosquitoes for the people in attendance here tonight. Keep those mosquitoes at bay. But with this change, we see the 41 of Chris Whitaker out in front. Or I should say, with this caution, I do see a change at the front of the field. Chris Whitaker swapping spots with Brandon Herndon. He had the race lead when the caution came out. John Johnson, Pondo Co. sitting in third and a fourth. And so now we see drivers inside the fuel window to make it with one more pit stop. So I expect to see pretty much everyone come down pit road this time.
Yeah, I don't know. Because a lot of these laps that they've got on are caution flag laps, so you're not using as much fuel. You could be saving quite a bit right now. It's tough.
The 3 of Paul Servant has pulled on to pit road and off of pit road, as I realized I should probably go live. Hard to call a race accurately when you're not watching it live.
Oh, there you go.
Good grief. So thanks so much for joining us here tonight on the Turn 3 Racing Network. Everyone joining us in YouTube chat, thank you for keeping me and Randy on our toes. Hopefully your driver is still in this one. I know several of you have seen your drivers go through a rough patch here, but as things stand right now, everybody is still in this race. JD Crow going to be one of those drivers very fortunate in that he took the wave around while he was low on fuel. This caution here is going to allow him to hit pit road. He still finds himself one lap down with Brandon Herndon not coming down pit lane, not going to be able to take the wave around here. But if he can get that fuel, get rolling, he's going to be the only car one lap down. Stephen Herman in that 7-Eleven machine has hit pit road and off once again, use that fast repair without losing a lap.
Yeah, that's really awesome. I mean, for him at least, that he was able to get lucky and be able to get some fuel put back in that car.
So with the yellow coming out again, I'll tell you what, this is let's I don't know who to talk to, Randy. Who would you like to talk to?
I don't know.
Well, pick somebody. What's your favorite number? 54. 54?
Yeah.
What kind of number is that?
Oh, yeah. Let's talk to somebody we haven't talked to. We could talk, we talked to him last week.
Yeah.
We could talk to Douglas Johnson.
the 388 machine piloted by Doug Johnson out of JDS Motorsports driver Doug Johnson. You got a copy?
Bud.
Doug, this is KR and Randy up in the broadcast booth. That 388 machine sitting inside the top 10 right now and have been in that top 10 for a while. Tell us a little bit about your race out here tonight.
Well, just typical Talladega. Been lucky and been able to stay ahead of everything so far.
JDS Motorsports has had a couple brief flashes of being out in front. At one point we saw Rick Greenaway make a run for the lead, but this 388 machine not been a driver to challenge for the lead just yet. What's it going to take to put your car up front?
Well, a little bit of luck, and I'm just being patient right now. When it gets down to like 5 to go, though, we're going to see what happens.
All right, Doug. Well, while you got the chance, any shout outs or thank yous you'd like to give?
I'd just like to shout out to all my teammates. We've been trying to work together on this thing, and I want to say thank y'all for doing what y'all do.
All right, that is Doug Johnson out of the JDS Motorsports stable, taking a moment to talk to us. And Randy, we got someone in YouTube wanting to hear from their driver. So we're going to have a moment. Why don't we go ahead and see if we can't talk to the driver of the 11 machine?
Yeah, bring him on up.
From the Alliance Motorsports stable, that is Roy Grandy. Roy, how you doing out there tonight?
Oh, just cruising. Nothing real special going on tonight. How you guys doing?
Oh, we're doing just fine here in this Sunday Select Series. Right now, you find yourself in 10th place, started in 21st, so you have managed to work your way forward. What has it taken for this 11 machine to continue this march that you have put on so far tonight?
Well, just avoid trouble, and a lot of the guys went in, I think, for fuel. I decided I'm going to try to stretch it here, so I think that's the difference. So,
fuel gamble here for you, or maybe not much of a gamble, just a little bit different strategy?
Yeah, I expect another caution here shortly, so hopefully not, but I think I'll have plenty of opportunities to pit.
All right, well, the lights have gone out on the pace car, so we're going to send you back down to your Alliance Motorsports teammates. But before we do, any shout outs or thank yous?
Oh, thanks to you guys. You do a great broadcast. The NSRA guys. Of course, happy Mother's Day to my mom. I love you.
Big shout out to the mom there by the driver of the 11 machine. And Randy, we get ready to fire them off one more time. Roy has been working his way forward. You think he's got a shot at putting it into victory lane here tonight?
I think anybody's got a shot, really. I'm not picking any favorites tonight. Nope. Not tonight.
No favorites out of Randy. I'll tell you what, I've been watching enough of these races to know that all it takes is for one of these drivers to be on the lead lap when that white flag falls to walk it into victory lane. But the lights have gone out on the pace car. We get ready to send them down into turn one once again. Chris Whitaker, Brandon Herndon swapping spots on this restart from the previous one. Whitaker down on the inside. He's going to have John Johnson pushing him. Pondo Co. going to be pushing Brandon Herndon as they work their way through the tri-oval. These drivers anxious to get rolling and try and finish this thing out. 27 laps to go here as the green flag flies and we get back up to speed. The 41 machine and the 131 getting a good jump. Pondo Co. looks like he's fallen asleep, and at the back of the field, Roy Grandy has gone around and a huge stack up once again.
Yeah, that was, I wonder if Pondo missed a gear or something. It just looked like he fell flat on his face and wasn't able to get that thing up and going and caused a huge accordion effect.
So after just talking to the 11 machine of Roy, finds himself in trouble. We go to our turn 3 instant replay for this restart. And Pondo does look like maybe he stacked it up a little bit. The accordion effect taking over. Several cars getting smashed into each other. We see everyone go spinning. And this time that has put a ton of cars into trouble. Take another look at this one as we go on board with Russell Hancock. As the melee starts in front of the 343 machine. And so once again, the caution flag gonna come out. So 2 very quick cautions, call it 3 if you will. And several more torn up race cars, Randy.
Yeah, it's really unfortunate. Some of these guys may have been wrapped up in a couple of these wrecks, and it may be out of fast repairs, and they're gonna have some damage to sit and pound out, and that's really unfortunate because if it's just the slightest little kink in some of that sheet metal, and you'll be down speed just off of aerodynamics. Not to mention if you're down engine power, it's gonna be so hard to keep up in the draft with the guys that still have mint cars.
All right, guys, so with all of that going down, we're going to step away for a commercial break. No one go anywhere. We'll be back after this.
Racing, you wanted the best, you got them 4 abreast. Often imitated, never duplicated. The greatest show on dirt, the World of Outlaws.
Grab the hard hats, grab the tools, grab the wheel. There's a job to do, ground to break, earth to move, a deadline to hit. Load in Randy and the boys. Randy's got shotgun, new guys in the back. Haul it all, dump it all, do it all. When there's something to prove, a reputation to uphold, you need the Kubota RTVX, North America's #1 selling diesel utility vehicle.
Welcome back, ladies and gentlemen, as we draw a close on our 5th caution of the night. The field has stacked up behind the pace car side by side for this restart. The Ford butt stain lights have quit working. Very fortuitous timing as we get ready to fire them off. So, Randy, drivers will have 22 laps to go. Still looking at not able to make it to the checkered flag here on fuel. Everyone going to have to pit one more time. And unfortunately for JD Crow, he was caught up in that most recent caution, so he did not receive the wave around or free pass. He is still the only car one lap down out there. And that being said, he's going to have to try and keep up his charge and not give up just yet.
He's gonna have to keep his nose clean is what he's gonna have to do. You know, there's pluses and minuses to being the only car a lap down. If something happens and you keep your nose clean, you are guaranteed that wave around, but you're a lap down. So a lot of these guys get kind of mad if you're a lap car and you're trying to race your way through the pack, and it can be kind of aggravating as a lead lap driver, but if he's not doing anything wrong, I don't see an issue. But the pace car does dive off. Chris Whitaker is leading this field to the green flag this time. Once again, taking lap 54 when they cross the stripe this time, as they ever so slowly inch towards the green flag. And the green flag is out. Chris Whitaker on the hammer with Brandon Herndon on the outside line. Everybody gets off cleanly this time, spread out a little bit in fear of having another stack up, but everybody's clean off this time. And it looks like Hunter Reynolds is dropping to the back. He must know a little bit something more than we do right now, as that front pack gets tightly knit together right now. Everybody else looks like they're probably heading towards that front pack as well, trying to make it one pack right now as they go through turns 3 and 4.
Reynolds in that 26 having some damage on the left front, not able to keep pace with this field, down on power, as Stephen Herman in the 711 makes his way past him. Now Reynolds going to tuck in behind Squirm and Herman. These two are going to work together and maybe try and catch the field, but even Reynolds having a hard time catching up to the 711 machine.
I wonder if he's got some damage, maybe down on power a little bit. That's what I was talking about earlier. It's just hard to keep up with the pack sometimes.
Meanwhile, back at the front of the field, the 41 of Whitaker, that heat wave design machine on the inside lane. Brandon Herndon on his outside in that 131. Les Levy has made it as second car on the inside lane. And our pole sitter for tonight, Jesse Unruh, has made it back up towards the front. He is now the third car outside lane. And I'll tell you what, everyone better watch out for that 133. He's got one win on the season, looking for a second one.
Yes, having a second win in a Super Speedway League would be awesome. It's kind of like a testament that, hey, I'm here, I'm good.
Only one driver has 2 wins on the season, or multiple wins even, and that is DJ Mitzel, and he has not been here tonight. So DJ unable to make the show here tonight. We'll see if he makes it next week, but that 61 machine is missed, as he is a driver that finds a way to get to the front of the field. Other race winners so far this season: Mark Mann in the 04, the 31 of Todd Poston, and the 133 of Jesse Unruh, all picking up wins so far this season. But right now, the 131 of Herndon out in front of the field. as he has dived down to the inside lane, leaving Les Levy on the outside. But here comes Chris Whitaker making the move to that upper lane to try and take some momentum from Les Levy and push himself to the front.
You're going to talk about here comes someone. Here comes Paul Servant and Dana Osborne on that outside line being pushed by 2 other cars. And they have a full head of steam making their way through the pack right now. It looks like Chris Akers and Daniel Holloway pushing them both. And they have no signs of ever slowing down right now. Dana Osborne has a little bit of a buffer between Paul Servant and his bumper, which is giving him a little bit of air to cool that thing down if it is getting hot up on that top line right now. Also, I just wanted to point out, I was just looking, and Roy Grande, who was wrapped up in that last wreck pretty early, he's in the mid-pack right now, making his way to the front again. So hopefully we'll be able to see him make his way up there and try to race for the win even.
Yeah, Roy, after we just got done talking to him under a caution, the green flag came out and he found himself in an accordion effect as the 9 of Pondo Co missed a gear or couldn't get rolling. And here he is trying to recover from that one, finding himself right now in a 14th spot. But 3 wide racing action for the moment. And Chris Akers in the 4. Randy, you mentioned how cars can overheat. We saw the 4 machine pop his engine and catching a lucky break in that 4 when he popped his engine. Another caution came out as cars crashed behind him, but he was able to get that machine repaired, get back out there, and he is using that outside lane for the moment as the 3 of Paul Servant out in front of the field.
Yeah, he pushed Dana and Paul up there, and they're both in the very front of the race. Paul obviously being the first car on that inside line, Dana being the second car on the outside line. And I've noticed through the race that Dana, I feel like he likes that outside line, able to wheel it a little bit better on that outside line. So we'll see what he can do out there, as he is now the first car on the outside line as Brandon Herden drops down to the inside line.
Yeah, I know when I'm at a super speedway, I'm not a big fan of riding around on that yellow stripe. I find myself feeling very claustrophobic when that happens. I do prefer that middle lane, even the 3rd lane. Of course, I kind of describe myself as a driver. Yeah, a driver that doesn't really put himself in good spots.
I don't mind riding the inside line. It's just I can't control my own fate down there, I guess. If I'm on the middle lane or the outside lane, I have a little bit more control over my own outcome.
The 3 of Paul Servant making the move down in front of Brandon Herndon. Ooh, good grief. So Servant to the front of the field. Osborne leading the lane on the outside of Brandon Herndon. John Johnson in the 22. Been inside the top 5 for a majority of this race, now finding himself 3rd car inside lane. As everyone is side by side, no one using that 3rd lane just yet. And we do have 2 cars that are off the pace. That is the 711 of Stephen Herman and the 26 of Hunter Reynolds. They are trying to work together here and keep their speed up, but both these cars are damaged, and they have fallen almost half a lap behind the field as they're turning some very slow laps.
Yeah, this front pack looks like everybody's getting kind of jostled in. It looks like Brandon Herndon, he's kind of just jumping from line to line right now. I don't know if that's part of his plan to keep them in check, I guess you could say, to keep them all behind him. As we do have a couple cars peeling off in for pit road. I think that was Rick Greenaway. Let me see who else. Looks like John Johnson, Douglas Johnson, and Rick Greenaway all peeled down pit road this time.
That is JDS Motorsports hitting pit road as they are inside the fuel window for their final stop. When will the rest of the field come down pit lane? Some of these tanks are starting to go dry. They have been out there for quite a while. Most of these laps have been under caution though, but nobody able to make it on fuel from here, so we will see how this plays out. Herndon down on the inside, got the momentum for the moment. Whitaker in the 41 going to make his break for pit lane. So here comes the 41 of Chris Whitaker.
Oh, and that is so unfortunate. Nobody went with him. That is really going to hurt him because nobody else went with him. He's going to be a solo car, have nobody to draft with. That is really unfortunate.
Yeah, Whitaker in that 41 after a solid showing, going to find himself in trouble here. All you can do is get on and off pit road as quickly as possible and hope that you can get up to speed and catch a lucky break. But he is in a very tough spot right now. But Paul Servant, Dana Osborne sitting 1 and 2, most of this field getting a single file. And here come a bunch more drivers on the pit lane. Herndon, one of those to hit pit road. Jesse Unroe as well. Paul Servant and Dana Osborne stay out. Now they're going to lose a little bit of momentum as they don't have anyone behind them. So that could cost them a little bit as well.
We do have Dana Osborne and it looks like Paul Servant right in front of them, and they're holding that low line. So I'm hoping it doesn't cause any issues with this lead pack coming with a full head of steam, as it looks like I would assume Candyshack Motorsports is probably going to come down this time, as I see him trying to get single file right now.
Working their way through 3 and 4, and doesn't look like we got any more takers just yet for pit lane. Paul Servant continues to lead, but the 82 of Daniel Harrington making a move to the outside as he closed in on Dana Osborne, jumped up to the outside lane. TJ Buck gonna go with him, but they start to fizzle out a little bit. Daniel Holloway in the 21, third place right now, as he stays tucked in behind the 88 of Dana Osborne.
Yeah, Dana Osborne and Paul Servant looking to... Oh, never mind. I thought they were looking to not go a lap down, but apparently they are the leaders.
Yeah, the 3 and the 88 sitting out in front of this field. When will they make their break for pit lane? Well, how about now? As a big group of drivers on the pit road, and Stevens in the 27 machine, hard on the brakes, gets out of shape. He's going to get it slowed down and on the pit road. So the 27 going to hit pit lane, but that is going to cost him a little bit of time. But now the 82 of Daniel Harrington out in front of the field. TJ Buck, Roy Grandy, and the 77 of David Booth. All 4 drivers right here have not hit pit road just yet.
Yeah, just listening to like the little bit of radio that I can. I did hear him asking if they wanted to keep staying out. So I don't know if they're going to try and run that thing as dry as possible and wait to see if there's a caution or not. But a lot of different strategies going on right now. Within the next couple laps, I bet we'll have everybody back in a pack and settled out.
TJ Buck and David Booth gone for a spin on the backstretch. We'll check our turn 3 instant replay to see what happened. Buck did not quite have the 77 cleared, and both of them went spinning down below the racing line. And now they make their way onto pit road, and that is going to cost them a whole lot of positions on the track. Grandy and Harrington off of pit lane getting up to speed, but here comes the pack. The 3 of Paul Servant and the 88 of Dana Osborne going to take the race lead back, and they find themselves in a 5-car train. The 31 of Todd Poston being that 5th car.
Yeah, everybody's so spread out right now. It's crazy to see, but with that lead pack being so big, or that's not even a lead pack, that's a second pack. With that second pack being so big, they should collect everybody and get us back to 1 pack.
But with 8 laps to go, time quickly running out. Paul Servant in the 3, looking for his first win of the season. He came into tonight as the points leader, had 2 points over DJ Mitzel. Now, if he can win this thing, is really going to open up that gap over the 61 machine as DJ was unable to make the race here tonight. The Savant looking at 7 laps to go. Dana Osborne in the 88. His engine is going to let go. And Dana Osborne pops his engine, and 6 cars all scramble trying to find a way around the 88. That is going to break up the momentum of this lead pack. And now Lynn McNeese in the 84 and the 101 of Gainforth, who is 1 lap down. They try to scramble as well. Here comes the 4, Chris Akers.
And a caution flag is out.
And caution flag coming out, and I believe that is going to be, not 100% sure what the caution flag was for. So we'll watch this as the 88 of Dana Osborne makes his way slowly down the backstretch.
I'm thinking something happened with TJ Buck. That's my guess.
Nope. The 88 of Dana Osborne has spun on the backstretch. Let's take another look at this. We'll back this up a little bit. But as the 88 was going slowly down the backstretch, looks like the car just broke loose on him. And wow. Russell Hancock in the 343 just happened to be in the wrong place, wrong time. We go on board with Hancock. That 88 machine just took a hard right. Not sure what happened there to the 88, but definitely something abnormal there. And so with the caution flag coming out once again, Randy, this is a late caution here, and everyone had made what I would say would be their last pit stops of the night.
Yeah, you remember when you asked me who I wanted to, or who I thought was going to win? This is why I didn't pick.
Yeah, it's tough to pick anybody for this, but Paul Servant in the 3 machine, your race leader. Mark Mann in the 04 scored in 2nd place. Todd Post in 3rd. Daniel Holloway in the 21 sitting in 4th. And rounding out your top 5 will be Lynn McNeese. David Gainforth gets the free pass. He is going to get back on the lead lap. So a lucky break for him. But man, what a wild chain of events here at the end of this thing.
Yeah, it's gonna be hairy.
So Mark Mann in 2nd place has 1 win so far this season. Paul Servant still looking for his first win, but that 3 machine able to put together solid finishes despite not finding victory lane. We'll see if he can get it done here tonight. But he is your points leader coming into the event. Todd Poston in the 31 looking for his 2nd win of the season. So 2 winners sitting in 2nd and 3rd place. With 5 laps to go here, we are under caution. This is our 6th caution. We have had 36 lead changes here tonight. So it has been a action-packed race at the front of the field.
Yeah, it really has. We've had a lot of lead changes, like you said. We've had a lot of different action going on. It's been a good race.
It has been a good race. Talladega puts on a heck of a show every time I come here. And Paul Servant, he's got to be wondering how he can be one of these drivers in front of the field or in the top 5 week in and week out. It's still not able to win one, but looking pretty good so far here tonight.
It's like Mark Martin.
Always a bridesmaid. The 88 machine making his way back out onto the speedway. He is 2 laps down. So not sure what happened to the 88. I know his engine popped, but as he was going slowly down the backstretch, that thing just took a hard right. And you could see he was trying to counter steer into that as he spun up into the racing surface. And man, I don't know about that one. I do not know what happened to the 88 because that was just wild.
Yeah, maybe it was old tires. Just got a little bit onto the power, or lack thereof power, and I don't know.
Yeah, don't know on that one either. But the lights are on the pace car. And I don't know if we're going to go into a green-white checkered attempt here or not, or our first official attempt at one, or extended time, overtime, whatever you'd like to call it.
I think it'll be an unofficial green-white checkered, maybe, or like a 2-lap shootout. I don't know. I don't math well.
Yeah, math is not something we're known for here in these broadcasts, but while we have a time, do want to thank tonight's sponsors: People Against Distracted Driving, Kubota, Key Realty, and of course Candyshack Motorsports, helping make this race possible here tonight. Paul Servant, a driver for Candyshack Motorsports, sitting out in front of the 04 of Mark Mann. And Candyshack has led quite a few laps here tonight. Chris Whitaker is led the most laps at 19, but Paul Servant has led for 15 laps and counting, as he is our leader during this caution flag. Akers has led for 4 as well. So Candyshack putting in a good performance here tonight.
I think you're forgetting that the old 30, 31, no, not 31. I don't know. Who's got your car? Donald Bennett.
Yeah, and the 31 machine?
I don't know why it says 30 on my thing.
Well, because that's his iRacing number, but 31 is his custom number.
Either way, he is running 6th position, still in this race, still has a chance to win it.
We'll see if he can pick up the win here. And, you know, maybe I was a little harsh on him at the beginning, but gosh darn it, if you're going to carry that Turn 3 Racing Network logo, better represent. Doing good in the points battle, finding himself in 12th place coming into tonight. So one of those drivers locked in on points, not having to worry about qualifying. But I'll tell you what, all it takes is to be on the lead lap to have a shot at winning this thing. And that is what the 31 is doing right now, sitting in 5th place, 3rd car inside lane for this restart. But Paul Servant in the 3, Mark Mann in the 04, gonna make up row number 1. Row 2 for this restart, the 31 of Todd Poston and the 21 of Daniel Holloway. And then we have the 31 and the 4 of Chris Akers making up row number 3. So any one of these drivers on the lead lap has a shot at it. We are going to go green, white, checkered here, and this is within our scheduled distance, so overtime not needed just yet. As the lights are out on the pace car, Randy, they are getting ready to fire off one more time.
Ooh, doggy, I'm excited. It's gonna be exciting. I really think it is. We're gonna see 3 wide pretty quick here, I bet.
Pace car down and away, Paul Servant, Mark Mann trying to keep all these drivers at bay as they make their way through the tri-oval. Flagman has a green flag in his hand, just waiting for them to hit the mark to signal the green flag is out, and we are underway for our green white checkered attempt. Now 2 laps to go. If we can get to the white flag without the caution flag coming out, the next flag will end it. as Paul Servant got the start he needed. Todd Poston in the 31, staying right on his back bumper. Mark Mann in the 04, though, going to start gaining momentum down the backstretch.
Yeah, it looked like Jesse Unruh and Roy Grande took to the outside right away, crossing the line, but Jesse Unruh went back down into the middle line and kind of left Roy Grande out to dry. He's fallen back quite a bit. We got one car, two cars spinning out on turn 4.
J.D. Crow going around at the back. The 3 of Paul Servant going to take the yellow flag here. We did not make it to the line, so now we will see a green-white checkered attempt. But J.D. Crow up in smoke in that 17 machine. Let's go to our turn 3 instant replay and find out what happened. Hunter Reynolds and J.D. Crow getting together. Sean Stevens getting involved in this one as well. Take another look at this as they worked their way down the backstretch into turns 3 and 4. And the 17 just looks like he did not hit that 26 squarely. And that is what's going to send both cars around. And both of them torn up big time. The 17 still smoking, trying to make his way around. Hopefully he has a fast repair available. But the 26 of Hunter Reynolds has gone behind the wall and has put it straight into the hauler. His night is done, just a few laps shy of making it the rest of the way. And so, Randy, we're going to have a green-white checkered attempt. But before that, let's take a break, catch our breath. We'll be back to bring you the finish of tonight's race.
Racing, you wanted the best, you got them 4 abreast, often imitated, never duplicated, the greatest show on dirt, the World of Outlaws.
Grab the hard hats, grab the tools, grab the wheel. There's a job to do, ground to break, earth to move, a deadline to hit. Load in Randy and the boys. Randy's got shotgun, new guys in the back. Haul it all, dump it all, do it all. When there's something to prove, a reputation to uphold, you need the Kubota RTVX, North America's #1 selling diesel utility vehicle.
Welcome back, ladies and gentlemen, as we are working our 7th caution of the night, and we have gone into green, white checkered territory. Our first attempt at overtime, extended time, extra laps, whatever you'd like to call it. Paul Servant in the 3 machine out in front. Todd Poston has made it into 2nd place as he sat there in that position when the yellow flag came out. And Randy, we're gonna have another go at this restart thing.
Yeah, so we do have another green, white checkered if we do need to use it. So if they bring out another caution before the white flag, we will go into another green, white checkered attempt.
So, as the field makes its way carefully, slowly, behind the Ford Buttstain, fans in attendance, both in YouTube and here in virtual iRacing grandstands, anxiously await the end of this race. As this green, white checkered is going to unfold. Your favorite driver, let us know who it is. Hopefully it is one of the drivers who ends up in victory lane. But everyone in YouTube, thank you so much for joining us. I hope you guys are enjoying the show. The drivers hope you have enjoyed the show that they are putting on for you here tonight. If you haven't done so yet, go ahead and hit that thumbs up button and let them know that you are cheering for them. Most of these guys are going to come back, watch the broadcast. So if you are a fan of a driver out here, now's the time to let them know that you're here in YouTube to cheer for them. As the field forms up side by side, we get ready to go green flag racing once again, Randy.
Yeah, kind of itching. I'm excited to see how this comes, how the outcome is, because we followed these drivers all night long, and we've seen some ups and downs for some drivers, and a lot of ups for others, and not so many downs. But I'm excited.
29 cars took the green flag here tonight. We have 25 cars out on track. 24 of those are on the lead lap. That is all you need for a shot to win this thing, is to be on the lead lap. Right now, the Key Realty 27 machine of Sean Stevens, last car on the lead lap. We'll see if he can make his way forward. Gonna have 3 laps to do that, but Paul Servant in the 3, your race leader, as we go through 3 and 4. Oh, my heart rate's picking up, Randy.
I know, it's exciting, isn't it?
It is exciting. We got some cheering for Daniel Holloway in the 21, one cheering for the 04 of Mark Mann. Those 2 drivers sitting 2nd and 3rd car in the inside lane. We'll see what they have in store for their fans. Let us know, guys. Several of you out in attendance here. Your favorite driver having a shot at this one. Pace car down and away. Paul Servant looking for his first win of the season. Todd Poston on his outside looking for win number 2. They work their way into the tri-oval. Green, white, checkered going to be happening, and that is not a lot of time to make the moves you need. Having a good restart here is going to be everything, and Todd Poston in the 31 timed that one perfectly. He is going to jump out in front, but he is not going to be able to clear the 3 of Paul Servant, as Mark Mann putting some energy into the 3 machine.
Yep, it looks like Paul Servant got the advantage there with having Todd Poston jump out up front like that. He wasn't able to kind of get that line going. He's got almost a full car length on that outside line right now.
Servant, Markman, Daniel Holloway, 3 cars down on the inside lane. Todd Poston, Donald Bennett, John Johnson, 3 cars in the outside lane. They work their way off of turn number 4 to see the white flag in the air, but got to get to the line. Todd Poston in the lead for the moment. Here comes Paul Servant in the 3, and Poston gonna lead that lap at the line as the white flag flies. Brought to you by Candyshack Motorsports.
I do see the 2 of AJ McCarron on the outside line creeping up with Pondo Co. and a couple others behind them. So that could come into a factor here out of turn 3 and 4. Coming to the checkered, it'll be crazy. I'd expect to see a 4-wide finish.
Bennett now the 2nd car in the outside lane. After I gave him a talking to, he has put himself in position to win this one. We got one around. McCarron goes around. He's going to collect some cars behind him, but the battle at the front goes unchanged. Paul Servant, Todd Poston at the line. It looks like the 3 machine is going to be ahead enough as Les Levy goes around as well. And Paul Servant is going to win here at Talladega in the Candyshack Motorsports 200 plus a couple laps as we go 5 laps over. But Paul Servant picks up his first win of the season, and several drivers getting into trouble as they cross the start-finish line, one of those being the 62 of Les Levy. Let's take a look at this one. John Johnson and the 62 get together, the field scattering behind them. That wasn't the only crash out there. We saw several others get involved, one of those being A.J. McCarron in the 2. That was the first one coming off of turn number 4. That collected the 9 of Pondo Co. Dana Osborne goes flying as well. But at the line, heavy contact for the 62 of Les Levy. And a wild finish here as your race winner is going to be Paul Servant. So guys, we're going to step away from the microphone, set up our post-race show. No one go anywhere. We'll be back to talk to our podium finishing drivers. Welcome back to our post-race show as we have caught up with tonight's race winner. First time in victory lane, the 3 of Paul Servant. Paul, congratulations, man.
Woo! Yeah, thanks, man.
Solid run for you out there tonight, picking up that first win, man. Led the most laps as well. Tell us a little bit about your race here and what it took for that to happen.
What it took to happen was teamwork. My team got me up there at the closing laps, 3 wide on the top lane. That was pretty awesome. We were working with pit strategy too, taking less fuel if we had to pit, which we did, and we had to take less fuel, so we got out in front of everybody. So everything worked clicking as a team. And I had Mark and I had Todd, pretty much a repeat of last week. I mean, awesome. I can't. I mean, great job. I'm at a loss for words here.
Well, the excitement being contained, we can tell that you're not too thrilled about this race win, but man, you came into tonight as the race or points leader, and now with the race win, you're going to open up that points gap a little bit more on the rest of the field. So the 3 machine in victory lane, man. Shout outs, thank yous.
I gotta thank Dan for sponsoring tonight's race, Candyshack team. A great push. We all got lined up on the third lane. They got us up front. Gotta thank Mark Mann for the great push tonight, and also to Todd for that push also before that last yellow. He was pushing the heck out of me also. So I mean, I love racing with these guys. I mean, we race hard, and hats off to them. Hats off to you guys. Sponsors, all the sponsors, all the fans are watching. I mean, that was a fun race, man.
Well, again, congratulations on the race win. Go celebrate with the rest of your team. Nice job out there tonight.
Thanks, man. I appreciate it.
That is Paul Servant in victory lane for the first time this season. And Randy, now we're going to move on to second place. You've caught up with Mark Mann.
Yeah, I've got Mark Mann here. Mark, one of the first things you said when you caught up with me was, did you see all the damage I had? So walk me through how much of a challenge that was to push Paul to the win with all that damage you had.
Oh, that was super tough, super tough. But I had Daniel Holloway behind me and their teammates, Paul and Dan, so I knew he'd be giving me a good push in the back, and so I just stayed pinned to Paul's bumper. I was at 298, my water. Coming into the tri-oval there, I wasn't sure if it was going to make it, but it did. So congratulations to Paul Servant, great driver, and he's pushed me to a win, and I just repaid the favor. So
yeah, so walk me through the rest of the race. How did you feel it went? What kind of things were you seeing? What kind of things did you notice like through the race that you were like, all right, this is what's going to win me the race or get me a top 5?
Oh, I had a horrible race in the beginning. I mean, I started out in the front pack, but just got caught up into some situations and had to work my way back, use both of my resets, and just kind of persevered throughout, stayed in it, and now I'm going to go to the Infield Care Center.
I'm seeing that right now. So did you guys have any crazy fuel strategies or anything this week that you thought may have helped as well?
Not really. With all the cautions, fuel strategy kind of got thrown out the window, except for at the end. You know, I just wanted to conserve my fuel mileage at the end, make sure I had enough to finish. But if another green-white checker came out, I would have had to have pit. So kind of glad we finished under green there on that second green-white checker, and it was fun. I had a great time tonight. Had the battle back all night long. I was a lap down there for a time, so it was fun.
Right on. Well, we won't keep you here all night talking about the race. Do you have any sponsors or shout outs you'd like to give out tonight before we move on?
Yeah, I'd like to thank all the sponsors. Thanks to Candyshack for, I believe that they sponsored the race, and thanks to NSRA, all that they do, and PADD. I believe they're still the title sponsor here, and I'd like to thank you guys at Turn 3 Racing Network. For all the fans and friends at home, please hit that like and subscribe button. It goes a long way to help our league and to help the network. And thanks to my friend and colleague, Mara Clark, for watching all these races, and any fans and friends and colleagues watching at home. Thank you so much.
All right. Well, that was second place. And I do believe KR has caught up with third place of Todd Poston tonight.
I have caught up with our third place finisher, and that is none other than the 31 machine of Todd Poston. Todd, solid finish for you. Tried to pick up your second win of the season, but it wasn't meant to be. Walk us through that green-white checkered attempt.
Right there on the restart, I ended up getting a jump and failed to realize that I actually cleared him on the inside and sort of dropped down. Just hesitated a little bit too long and let the field catch back up, and that's all she wrote.
Well, third place here is nothing to shake a stick at. We know these super speedways can be difficult to work through, but you got one win in the bag already, a solid third place here. Talk to us a little bit about your outlook on this season and maybe a championship.
Yeah, we're just going to keep going out and basically doing what we're doing. We usually try to run in the back and keep the faster pairs. It seems to be a pretty good strategy there, so we're at the front in the end.
Well, you came into tonight's race tied for fifth place in points, but with the troubles that JD Crow has had here tonight, you are going to be the sole possession of that fifth place, maybe even moving up a little bit further.
Yeah, it looks like it's going to be a pretty good point night. I know DJ missed the night. He had to do some things with the family tonight and couldn't make it.
All right, man. Well, again, congratulations on third place. Any shout outs or thank yous you'd like to give?
Yeah, I got to thank Candyshack for sponsoring the race tonight, and our main sponsor, PADD, and you guys for broadcasting every week.
All right, that is the 31 of Todd Poston bringing it home here tonight in third place. And again, congratulations.
Yes, sir. Thank you, KR.
Man, oh man, what a race that was, Randy. We saw outstanding action all night long, only to see it end in a green-white checkered attempt with Todd Poston finishing in third, Mark Mann bringing it home in second, and your race winner, the 3 of Paul Servant.
Yeah, it was a great race. Couple hiccups about mid-race, but nothing these guys can't get over, and they showed they got over it pretty quickly and were able to put on a good show for us and the rest of the viewers out on YouTube and everywhere else.
All right, so nothing left but to go through our race results. Paul Servant, Mark Mann, Todd Poston on the podium here tonight. Got to talk to all 3 drivers, and I want to thank them for sticking around for that post-race interview. Daniel Holloway going to bring it home in a 4th place. 5th will be the 30 of Donald Bennett, and I guess I'll be a little bit happy with the top 5 here tonight.
As he should be, but Chris Akers bringing it home 6th, Les Levy 7th, Chris Whitaker in 8th, John Johnson in 9th, and Douglas R. Johnson in 10th, and Brandon Herndon in 11th.
Rick Greenaway going to finish 12th, 13th, Daniel Harrington, 14th, Lynn McNeese. Rounding out your 15th spot, that is the 7-Eleven of Squirmin' Herman himself.
And 16th goes to David Booth, 17th, Roy Grande, 18th, Russell Hancock, 19th, Peter Bailey, and 20th, Sean Stevens.
21st goes to David Gainforth, 22nd, AJ McCarron, 23rd, Jesse Unrow, 24th, Pondo Co., the first car, 1 lap down. 25th will be Dana Osborne, ending up 3 laps down.
So 26th is going to be Hunter Reynolds. 27th will be JD Crow. 28th will be TJ Buck. And 29th will be Jason Kinzer.
That makes up tonight's finishing order. So, guys, thank you very much for joining us here tonight. Coming up next Sunday night, May 17th, we'll be at Daytona for the Key Realty 185. We hope to see you all there. And so until then, on behalf of myself and Randy Post, stay safe, everyone, and we will see you next week.